Well, if you're talking about teams that have gone ahead to win their first two opening fixtures of this season of 2024-2025 in the Premier League, you can talk about Liverpool, you can talk about Man City, you can talk about Arsenal and Brighton. I think those are the only four teams that have maximum points in the first two opening games of the season. And what does that call for? It means that Arsenal and Brighton, two teams that haven't gone ahead to lose a game in this season, are really going to be tussling it out at the Stadium of the Emirates. And a lot is really going to be happening into the mix. Welcome to this channel. This is the Rokani Media Football. We are here to bring you the match preview of Arsenal versus the side of Brighton. Big game coming in through, and if I told you remember very well last season, Arsenal beat Brighton, I think 4-2 at I think Arsenal beat Brighton in both fixtures, you understand? And Arsenal will be like, we've gone ahead to win our first two games against Aston Villa and against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and we want to come here and obviously beat you. And Brighton will be like telling them, we won our first game against Everton and we hosted Manchester United, and in the dying minutes we beat them by 2-1. So we are really fired, and we believe that we can come at the Emirates and obviously put in a situation that can obviously stand the side of Arsenal. But even Mikel Arteta is like, all right, I've just gonna obviously get in a player known as Mikel Merino into my squad, and I'm really getting stronger and stronger, and I might even go in for Raheem Sterling. Then the side of Brighton is like, we've just gone ahead to get in Fadi Kadioglu, and he's a player that was linked to you, and it looks like you guys were interested in him, but we obviously won the rest. So there is a little bit of a slight battle into the mix, but we thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims, Juma Karim, and hope everything is really panning out as planned. Now, as it stands, we are thanking God for the gift of life, right? And we are calling in for 300 likes on this video as we get into this. And continue to subscribe, because we want to hit 30,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel, and continue to do the needful into the mix, and the rest is really gonna be history into the making. Now, let's start it off with Arsenal. Who are the absentees? Gabriel Jesus is expected to be out of this game. Tomiyasu is out, and Kentieni is out. Mikel Merino is expected to make the matchday squad of Arsenal as they play against the side of Brighton at the Emirates Stadium, right? Then Brighton is really having some 2-3 players out, and Matt O'Reilly forced out in the 90th minute. Then Jay Williams is another one who is expected to be out. Solly March is having an injury, and Brajan Grada and Mats Wafer, those will need their knocks will be assessed. But Evan Ferguson made it onto the bench when they're playing in the midweek in the Carabao Cup. You understand? So we wait to see who is really going to be making the squad of which team. But for Arsenal, they want to continue their winning stretch to make it how many? 9 points and maximum. And them playing fast, that gives them a very huge chance to pile pressure onto the teams that we believe they're really going to be competing with. When you look at the Premier League fixtures this weekend, apart from Arsenal, the other big teams that are really playing are Man City is playing against West Ham, that is tomorrow. Then Liverpool is playing against Manchester United on Sunday, meaning that Arsenal will have to be 3 points ahead of them, and they need to obviously put in the required shift all together into the mix. So as it stands, nothing's gonna stop these people from obviously showing us what they're really all about, and we are just here to really bring you what we think the probable starting 11 of Arsenal is really gonna be, and a little hint on how Brighton is really gonna be lining up into this encounter. Now, let's obviously go ahead and get into the probable starting 11 for the club of Arsenal. You understand? And it's another big encounter, as Arsenal is going to keep clean sheets in 2 games, and they're going to hit to win them by 2-0, right? And they're really fired up like never before. Now, when you look at that team of Arsenal that played against Aston Villa, let's see how many are really going to make it into the starting 11 that we think about. The goalkeeper, obviously, he's really going to be in the stitches. That is the man himself, known as David Raya. David Raya is going to be the man responsible to see to it that everything really comes to pass into the mix, and he's going to have to keep 2 clean sheets, into a season that has just gone ahead to see 2 games played about it. On the right back, I think Benjamin White is going to be playing onto the right back for the club of Arsenal, obviously because the manager believes he's the best right back alive at the club of Arsenal. Though for me, I think the best right back at the club of Arsenal is none other than Julian Timber. Left back, Zinchenko was dropped, and to show you that the manager is not interested in obviously bringing him on, the manager went ahead, obviously put in another shift and got Carafiori off the bench and played him, and Zinchenko never got a chance, meaning that Carafiori made his debut away from the side of Aston Villa. That means even today, I don't anticipate Zinchenko to start. I believe it's going to be the same, and it's going to be Julian Timber playing into that left back position. There is something that I think Arteta is doing to Zinchenko. He wants to obviously keep him here and obviously maybe let him go next summer. As I tell you, he's not going to be getting ample playing time this season because Carafiori and Julian Timber are really ahead of him. Tomiyasu is ahead of him, and even Jakub Kivio has been informed by Arsenal that he's known for sale. So if you really know that, a lot is really gonna make a lot of sense into your thoughts. Then right-sided centre back, no doubts about that. It's none other than Saliba to play as the right back. Then the right-sided centre back, and the left-sided centre back, we're obviously gonna come up with a guy called Gabriel Magalhaes. So that is exactly what would have to happen into the mix, and a lot is really happening to see that everything is going to obviously happen that way. So that is the back 5 that we anticipate that Arsenal is really going to be parading to take on the side of Brighton. And Brighton, they have the João Pedro, who went ahead and scored a win against the team I support, Manchester United. Deadly striker, and Evan Ferguson returns to play off the bench, and they will be having lots of options off the bench, obviously put in the required shift all together. Now we go to the central midfield. Obviously Thomas Partey is staying at Arsenal and is going to be played as a CDM into this game of football, and you know what he has been doing all the other days. Then for the other guy, Declan Rice will be playing alongside him. That is it. And Martin Odegaard will also play into that midfield, meaning that midfield 3 is really going to be having Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, and Martin Odegaard. And people are really asking that, Rokani, don't you think that this guy will come out and really take over? That is Merino. I believe a time will come when Merino takes over, because he has different attributes from all the midfielders that Arsenal are really having, and that means he's really going to be played into that midfield of Arsenal. And it will be a very big choice to be made between Thomas Partey and Declan Rice by Mikel Arteta. But I believe, obviously, Declan Rice stands a very huge chance to obviously coming through and start into that team better than Thomas Partey, but it all depends onto the game situation. And I believe that Mikel Merino won't obviously be thrown into the team like in the starting 11. He's really going to be played off the bench, I think, against Brighton. He'll get a chance to play into this encounter, and then we go to the international break, and from the international break we'll see how Arteta will have put in a better plan to see to it that everything really comes on to pass and gives them the best that they really deserve as a side of Arsenal. So as things stand, we all have to admit that things are really working on well, and nothing is really going to stop them from really getting to where they deserve to be as a side of us. So that's the midfield 3 of Arsenal that has looked very solid, and it's very hard to really penetrate through them. It's like an impenetrable forest, right? And it's really going to be hard for them to obviously see to it that things don't pan out the way they want them to be. Now, we go to the 3 forwards, because the system is a 4-3-3 that Arsenal are set to deploy into this encounter. We all have to understand that on the right forward, we anticipate that we're obviously going to be having Bukayo Saka, man in form, 1 goal and 2 assists this season into games, and if you ask me to bet for a player who is really gonna have an assist or a goal in a game of Brighton, I can bet on Bukayo Saka because he's really in a flying form. I tell you, his form is really very, 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 very good, and the manager is really very okay with his performances into the mix. Now, on the left, that's where the big argument is really gonna be. You go with Martinelli, or you go with Trossard, a man who came off the bench and scored a goal, and he was also involved into the second goal with a secondary assist. What do you do? Because Martinelli has played close to 160 minutes in both games of Aston Villa and Wolverhampton Wanderers, and he hasn't gone ahead to really live up to the expectations. You understand? Now, as it stands, you have to come out and obviously come up with a resolution that I have to bench this guy. And I believe, in my own understanding, I bench Martinelli and I go for Leandro Trossard as a left forward. The man scored 17 goals for the club of Arsenal. You understand? And it shows you how good he is and how he plays and makes the club of Arsenal better when he's really playing off the left attacking side of the midfield. So for me, I think you start Trossard and you really hate Martinelli off the bench. And if I told the manager goes ahead to try to put in Martinelli ahead of Trossard in this game, I'll be like, favoritism is kicking in at the club of Arsenal, because this guy has shown all the intent that he deserves to start and he's really on fire. I don't know what Arteta is looking out for, but Martinelli, the only way he can obviously bail himself out if at all the manager starts him coming in from really performance very well, like putting in assists or even scoring a goal, because that's what makes a forward an outstanding forward. So if he doesn't do that and he starts, and then the manager takes him off and Trossard comes off the bench and scores, then the world will be like, Arteta, please, you need to watch your steps, because you're having a player who is really good at what he does, and you've gone ahead to obviously stop him from really getting him the best that he deserves in as a player. So, as it stands, a lot is really happening. And guess who's going to be leading the line? Gabriel Jesus is injured. That is Kai Havertz leading the line for the club of Arsenal. So that is my probable starting 11 of Arsenal as they take on the side of Brighton. When? That is tomorrow. It's the early Kickstarter, and it's really going to be very enjoying. And when you look at the team that started against Aston Villa, I think there is one big change that I anticipate the manager is going to be making. That's of Leandro Trossard coming in for Gabriel Martinelli, because he needs to be rewarded. Let's see how Brighton are really gonna stand. For Brighton, we expect Stale in goal, Veltman, Dunk, Van Heck and Kadioglu into the back four, Milner, Gilmore, Mintek into the midfield three. Then we'll be having Pedro, Mitoma and Welbeck into the mix. Talk about Mitoma. I saw him play against Manchester United, but he was closed a lot by Diego Dallo. Sorry, by what's his name? By Mazurui. But he looks sharp. He looks sharp. Benjamin White will need to be at his best to stop the player in this guy, because he's really an outstanding player. And there is another Brazilian player they sent from Leeds that came off the bench, and he really showed me that there is really pure quality, and no doubt as to why they went ahead to cough £40 million for him to cross from Leeds to the side of Brighton. I was like, they really have a lot of sense into the mix. So that's what you're having from the team known as Arsenal and the probable starting 11 that we're going to obviously talk about. Now, when you look at the head-to-head stats for the club of Arsenal as they take on Brighton, they are really very, very interesting, that I'm really going to throw them onto your screen and you watch them yourselves and see how these head-to-head stats kick into your thoughts of the game. Do you change your thoughts, or you really leave it at where you think is right? So smash the like button, guys, and remember we are powered by Mono Gadgets, dealers in phones, laptops, you understand, laptops and laptops, head-to-head stats, head-to-head stats. So we are powered by Mono Gadgets. right? They are dealers in phones, laptops, and they are dealers in phones, laptops. They are really brand new. Even if you want used ones, they can obviously offer them to you. So go onto TikTok, search for Mono Gadgets, and then you'll thank me later. All else, call them on +256 70 99 88 88 66 5. Not so? I think that's the number. I've read it right. If you want to contact Mono Gadgets, contact them on 070 +256 70 99 88 66 5. They'll obviously deliver everything you want at your doorstep. That is Mono Gadgets for you, and they'll obviously bring them into your vicinity, and you'll enjoy yourselves to the fullest. Now, when we go to the head-to-head stats, before I really throw into my prediction, Gugu has provided us with some here, and I'm like, who am I not obviously throw them to the viewers of this channel and obviously enjoy themselves to the fullest. Let's go and see what the head-to-head stats are into this encounter. Now, we are having the following. 1, Arsenal have won 3 of their last 4 Premier League games against Brighton. They've lost 1, as many as they had in their first 10 against them before. Secondly, Brighton have won 3 of their 7 Premier League games away against Arsenal. They are one of the just 3 teams to have won more or as many visits to Emirates as they've lost in the competition, along with Manchester City and Swansea. Thirdly, Brighton failed to win any of their 7 Premier League away games against London sides last season, drawing 3 and losing 4. Their last victory in the capital was 3-0 at Arsenal in May 2023, in a season since 2011, 2012 in the Championship. Fourthly, victory for Arsenal in this game would see them win their opening 3 Premier League games in a season for a second time under Mikel Arteta, also in 2002, 2003, which would be as many as they did so prior to the arrival to his arrival as a manager in 2003, 2004, 2004, 2005 under Arsene Wenger. It will be remembered that they've gone ahead to win the opening 3 fixtures once ever since Mikel Arteta came in through. You understand? And last season, in the 3rd fixture, I think they went ahead to draw against Fulham at the Emirates. Lastly, for the 3rd time in the last 4 seasons, Brighton have won their opening 2 Premier League matches. The Seagulls haven't won their opening 3 league games. So this is what goes ahead to obviously give us a very huge goal that the team they're really going to be facing has gone ahead to win the opening games, the opening 2, but when it comes to the 3rd one, they obviously lose out and they don't obviously find themselves really winning those games, meaning that Arsenal stands a chance to obviously win this game of football. And what's my prediction? 3-0 in favor of Arsenal. That is it. I saw Brighton plug against Manchester United, and if United had a better midfield like that of Arsenal, I tell you, it would have gone ahead to end in tears for the side of Brighton. Erik ten Hag made some mistakes because he went ahead to obviously get on a player called Joshua Zirkzee for only 45 minutes. Yet I thought he would have gone ahead to start. The number of times we spent playing Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes as a false number 9 and number 10 respectively were really not good. So for the side of Arsenal, we all believe that it's really going to be looking better and good, so that everything really moves on into the right direction as wanted. So I'm giving Arsenal a 3-0 win against this side, and I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below. Rokani David is my name. Continue to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. I sign out for now. See you later. And for the Muslims, Juma Kareem. To the Christians, we thank Lord for the gift of life. And let me see you in the next video. Obviously, I think it's going to be a Raheem Sterling one because it's really hot in there. Raheem Sterling looks like he's going to be really moving on to obviously go ahead and really play for the side of Arsenal. And Arteta is discussing with the board to see whether they can obviously go in for the transfer immediately. So go in, tell me your thoughts, continue to subscribe. I want to hit 30,000 subscribers and continue to subscribe, my mates, because we are soon really hitting that milestone, guys. So we out. See you later, and a 5-finger salute to everyone that has been watching in through. We out. See you, my guys, and subscribe, guys.